Hello and welcome to the Queen of Hearts podcast. I'm your host, Queen Leo, and welcome to the kingdom. If you are new here, welcome, kings and queens. And if you are a returning guest, welcome back. So today's episode, is me and my lotto era, I shall say. Let me put this out. So, I say that because I usually say I'm in my future era when I be on my toxic villain shit, but my feminine future toxic era, like my feminine future villain era is Lotto, because she's like the female version of Future, just a little bit. But pretty much, I'm putting it on the flow. That's why I said this is my Lotto moment, because I'm putting it on the flow. This has been bothering me for a while, and I'm gonna leave it here. I'm putting it on the flow right here on this episode. I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm letting it go. I'm not bringing it into 2025. None of that. We're gonna leave it right here. And I felt like this first topic was the best topic to use to segue into my rant that's gonna pertain to all of that. But this is a conversation I've been wanting to have. It's a little outdated, but I still feel like it's a good conversation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cam Newton, the football player. But he has a podcast. He was either on his podcast or he was on someone else's podcast. But he was talking about relationships. And he is one of the celebrities who, a lot of children, a lot of baby mamas. But he's currently dating the mother of his child, Jasmine. And I thought to say it was his podcast. But pretty much on this episode, he confessed to infidelity while dating her, and he also let it be known that she was aware of the infidelity. She knows, she's okay pretty much with it, and she stays. Not in those exact words, it was dressed up, but just that was black and white what the conversation was. Like, hey, I cheat on my chick, but she cool with it, and we work through it. But it gave, I'm a serial cheater. That's what it gave. A lot of people, not only in social, like in pop culture, like other celebrities and stuff, and social figures, but even like fans and family followers, they reached out, commented, and it was just a big thing. It was a big controversy, because it was like, oh my gosh, girl, how can you stay and a dude is cheating on you? How could you be in a relationship like that? And I just felt like it was an interesting topic to talk about, because just how everyone got so in an uproar. And it's like, for me, I understood what he was trying to say. Men can't explain things very well. Some men can, some men can't. But their choice of words sometimes can be very crass. But I understood the concept of what he was trying to say, and then on the other end of it, I can say I understand her position, I should say, in it. But I wanted to discuss that today, because I felt like it just went well with this rant I've been wanting to have. So we're going to dive into that topic, just discussing like the idea of infidelity in relationships and cheating, in society. I wanted to have just a discussion, open discussion about that. So we're going to dive into that, and then followed by that, put that shit on a motherfucking flow. So get your popcorn, get your wine, get your beer, get your high noon. I got my high noon. Get your party favors. I just put mine out. And we are going to tap in. So stay tuned. All right, ladies. So as I stated before, pretty much the main topic, Cam Newton be cheating on his girlfriend. And she, no matter what, well, not no matter what, but in knowing that he's cheating, stays with him. And it just caused a lot of debate for the world. Not the, well, I guess for the culture. Let's say that it caused a lot of debate for the culture, with people trying to understand how she can allow that. And I just wanted to explore. I can understand where people can get upset. Cheating is a big deal. You know, when it comes to cheating, you are breaking trust. You are clearly stepping out of the relationship, and you are deciding to do your own thing. And people don't see it for what it is. People don't see cheating for how much it can hurt. You know, some people, for example, a good example, me. When I was younger, I used to have really bad insecurity issues. And I just couldn't handle men not, well, at the time they were boys. But I couldn't deal with boys just not tending to my insecurities and not staying faithful. You know, I had dealt with a lot of men that cheated, a lot of men that stepped out in my past relationship, cheated on me multiple times. So I can understand the pain that comes from cheating, the pain from realizing, you know, you've shared your person. You know, one song that always hits home for me, Resentment by Beyonce. Who's it about? We really don't know. Everybody says Jay-Z, but, you know, speculation. But in that song, one part that gets me every time, puts me in tears, she says, I think it's towards the end, she says, I gotta look at her in her eye and see she's had half of me, and she ain't even half of me. Deep shit. Because at the end of the day, like, men cheat with women that don't even be on your level. They cheat with women you would have never expected them to be with. Men just be out here doing some crazy stuff. And I mean, women cheat too. Men lie, women lie. Don't get me wrong, but in the situation that we're talking about, men do lie, men do cheat, and sometimes the woman they be cheating with, it just be the woman of the night. It be the woman in that moment. You feel what I'm saying? It's never a woman that they want to be with, or one that they should see as a step up above you. Not to knock any woman, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's not doing for you the things I do for you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what Beyonce was getting at. Like, I gotta see this woman out here in the world and look her in her eyes and know she's had you. What I claim is mine, she's had it, so it's ours. She could take from me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she could take from me what belongs to me. Not saying men are property, but just in the simple fact of relationships, it hurts when a woman can sit there and say that, like, you stepped out, you're mine, I'm yours. You stepped out, you shared yourself. Now you're not mine, you're mine and hers. You're ours. That's deep. That cuts women and digs at her insecurities. See, look at her in her eyes. See, she's had half of me, and she ain't even half of me. You know, you met some girl because she was popping at the bar, but it's like, I've been here for years, holding it down, making sure you're straight. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when it comes to stepping out on relationships, it does cut deep. It does hurt. And I can understand why people want to walk away. You know, especially, like I said, in her example, she's a motherless child. So it's a lot of other things. Like, I carried your baby for 9 months. Like, a lot of other things come into play with it. So I can see where, if you were in those shoes, or if you've experienced something like that, it could cut you deep. And you have to think, like, most women, when they're pregnant, sometimes they're going through, like, postpartum and stuff like that. So it's like, for me to be, you know, just had your baby, or had a baby with you, and going through the motions of, like, getting myself back together, and you are creeping, you are stepping out, that cuts at a woman's ego, that cuts at a woman's soul. And it's like, women can't take that. You know, you break trust like that. And once you break the trust, like, it's hard to get that back. Women, I wouldn't say all women, but most women are nurturing creatures. For example, I'm a nurturing person. People tell me all the time I'm nurturing. And at first I didn't believe them, but after really analyzing myself, I realized that I am very nurturing. Especially in relationships with people. Like, I tend to give them any and everything. Wait on them hand and foot. Like, just be like their corner man. I don't know. I've always seen relationships like that. Like, if I'm with you, I'm your corner man. Like, anything you need to be wiped down, ice, water, I got you. For you to go back out in the ring. The ring that is life. And fight for us. Bring us back a title. Bring us back a championship. I'm your corner man. I'm making sure everything Gucci. So, most women are like that. And when you take advantage of that, and you betray a woman, and you step out on y'all relationship, y'all bond, y'all commitment, y'all union, y'all marriage, whatever you and that girl got, when you step out on that, it hits something in them, and they walk away, because you have to think, what one person won't do, another person will. And some women live by that. So it's like, if you cheat, if you step out, if you do some crazy shit, they done. They out the door. So it's like, when they see her sticking around, they hear her staying, they see her justifying herself staying. It's like, girl, it's crazy to them, because it's like they would have been packed up. Like, they don't take that, Some women are just in a position where they don't need to deal with that. For a long time in my life, in my past relationships, I thought that was okay. I took men doing stuff like that. And, I was going to break this down into, like, this topic and my rant, but it might just be one long rant mixed in with this, because they just go hand in hand. But pretty much, like, I've lived a life where men have stepped out and done things. And now in this new beginning, this new me, I don't take it. I don't handle it, Like, I've always stood on business about myself. That's one thing I can say when it comes to anything. I pretty much, I'll stand on business about me. I might not get my desired reaction from you, or my desired solution from you. But I do stand on business about me. And when it comes to stuff like that, like stepping out, relationships, cheating, like, I'm more vocal about it now. Like, I was vocal about it then, but I'm more vocal about it now. Like, I'll tell you, like, we not doing that. We not. And, like, a prime example was this guy I used to deal with. When I met him, I didn't know he was dealing with, I told y'all this, I didn't know he was dealing with women. I either did tell y'all this, or it's on an episode that I haven't posted yet. One of the two. But I didn't know he was dealing with other people. And when I found out, I was like, okay. Because we weren't, like, official. We weren't in a relationship. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. We were dating. And, like, as I get older, I have to understand this new age world we live in. And it's not like, oh, I meet you, I like you, we talk a little bit, and then we start dating. Dating in itself isn't even official. And when you're dating someone, you still could be talking to someone, I guess, is how they classify it. Till you're in a committed, exclusive relationship, that's when it's like, oh, it's just us. But me and him weren't, like, official, like, no stamp on it. And I didn't press the issue, because I knew we were still trying to figure ourselves out. And so I didn't press the issue with him and the women either. But as we got deeper in our relationship, we got deeper in our bond, and we decided that we did want to deal with each other, I stepped up, stood on business by myself, and I said, well, you can't do all this extra curricular, like, all these other people gotta go. If you sit here saying that you want to build with me, you want to do something with me, all these other people can't be around. And then he had the option to either do or not do. And he ended up doing, because, that's, like I said, that's what he was saying to me. So it's like, if you tell you what you say, you gotta do what you say and say what you do, or mean what you say and say what you mean. mean what you say and say what you mean. Yeah, I said it right the first time. I was like, did I say it wrong? But and he did, and it was good. But then things kind of went left and left. But it was just a prime example of how when that moment happens, you have to have enough self-respect and enough boundaries within yourself to put that ultimatum in place, because that is important. Like, you can't like let a man think it's okay. That first time it happens, you have to, that first time it happens sets the stage for if it's going to happen again, if it's going to stop, or whatever the case may be. That first time sets a standard. So it's like you always have to remember that first impression you make when type of situations like that occur and how you handle them, because that sets precedent. And that's what used to mess me up early in life. I would feel some type of way later in a relationship when in the beginning I would allow it. But as I got older, I had to grow out of that. Because it's just not healthy. It's not, because you don't set standards in the beginning, and then shit happens, and then you're dealing with it, and you're trying to understand it, and it's like, just set clear expectations from the get-go, like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is what we're not doing, period, point blank. I feel like when it comes to relationships, there should be a certain level of honesty and transparency, and no one should have to tolerate dishonesty. I say that knowing, side note, I say that knowing that when it comes to my current relationship, I do tend to lie more than I should, but no one should tolerate dishonesty, and that's why I'm working on it. But so it's like, if you set that standard early on, like, I'm not tolerating it, I'm not dealing with it, I'm not gonna do it, it helps, I feel like, guide the relationship in the right direction. Because if not, I feel like people tend to test the waters because they don't know what's gonna happen. And if you do find yourself with someone that can't get it together or can't get it right, the best option is to leave, because it's healthier for you. It's healthier for your well-being, and all in all, it's the best decision to make. If you set clear standards, if you've let someone know how something makes you feel and they continue to do it, there's no point in staying. There's not. I feel like that's a big concept when it comes to infidelity, when it comes to just relationships and emotions and feelings in general. If you express how something makes you feel and that person takes it in, doesn't care, and doesn't try to change to make it better, that kind of tells you how they feel about you, and that kind of tells you how you should move in a relationship. So always take that. But I do understand the side of leaving. Like I said, that's pretty much the side I'm on. But then we have the other side of the coin, which is Jasmine, Cam's girlfriend side. And I can agree with that as well. Like I said, messed with this man, my ex, and he was dealing with multiple people. I was not upset about it early on because, like I said, we weren't in an official relationship. And things like that, I feel like, is what makes situations different and make the reaction to things like this vary woman to woman. Because first off, the whole discussion is him cheating on her. But at the end of the day, I feel like the concept of infidelity, I feel like the concept of cheating in itself is subjective, if that's the right one. It varies person to person. I think that's subjective. But yeah, it's subjective to each person. I feel like what I might consider cheating is not what you might consider cheating. And what you might not be what I consider. So I feel like we can't really judge this certain situation. Because at the end of the day, for me, flirting with a woman, I wouldn't call cheating. How about that? Comment below. What do you consider cheating? I don't consider harmless flirting is not considered cheating. Now, if you're full blown flirting with a bitch, you cheating. You feel what I'm saying? If you trying to game that hoe, you cheating. You feel me? Um, but like harmless flirting, no, because some people can just be friendly, and I just understand that because I'm nice, and I think it's the Southern hospitality in me. But I'm nice, so it's like when men talk to me, I be nice, low key. They on some different type of time, but I don't see it like that. I'm just being polite. But once I do, it's like, oh, hold up, hold up. I might have a boyfriend. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel everyone might not see flirting as cheating. Um, I feel like when it comes to physical interactions, definitely cheating. Some people might not see physical interactions as cheating. Some people might see cheating as an emotional thing. They may not see the physical in it. Um, because like they said, women cheat, they invest feelings. Men cheat, it's usually just a fuck. So it's like you have to understand how the person may classify cheating. And when it comes to cheating, seeing that women and men cheat different, I feel that too can change how a woman's perspective could be on it. Like I said, men cheat for a nut. You know, they cheat because they want to fuck. They cheat because she looked good at the club at 3:30 when he was drunk as fuck off the Hennessy and the lights came on. Came on. She was the baddest bitch around. You feel what I'm saying? Or he's at the gas station. I don't know why niggas be ready at the gas station, but he's at the gas station. She may be the baddest bitch at pump number 8. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like, oh, I want to go marry her and have kids with her. It really just be, she was a bad bitch at pump 7 at the Chevron down the street. She looked at me with these fuck me eyes, so I fucked her type shit. And that's just men thinking with their dick at the end of the day. And some women might not classify that as cheating. At the end of the day, I classify it as cheating. Fuck you, fuck, that's cheating. However, I'ma understand that cheating more than you in a relationship. Because you fucking, like, if you in a relationship, you're in a relationship with a bitch. But if you just fucked her, you just fucked her. You feel what I'm saying? I remember same relationship, same ex. Like I said, I told him to cut all these girls off for me. So he cuts all the girls off, but there's one girl he hadn't quite cut off. And I understood the situation. I understood he was trying to handle it. So I didn't fault him for it. You get what I'm saying? Because he's honest. So he's keeping me informed. He doesn't leave me in the dark about it. He doesn't disrespect me with her when it comes to the situation because we're in a relationship. Like, he set a standard. I set a boundary, and he met it. And so he's honest with me. He informs me that he has to go see the girl. I know you're gonna wonder, like, why did he have to go see her? I'm not gonna lie, I used to wonder why he had to go see her, but whatever. Not together, but he had to go see her, whatever. So I let him go, whatever. He ends up fucking her. I already knew he was gonna fuck her because I'm not fucking dumb, not fucking stupid. I knew he was gonna fuck her, but he swore he didn't in the beginning, and then he finally confessed to it later on when he had to. But I didn't get mad. I didn't fault him for it. I didn't do anything like that because I understood the situation. He was very honest with me when it came to him trying to get this girl out of his life. He had expressed to me numerous times how he was trying to get her out of his life. And he set intentions with me. So I couldn't fault him for however things played out because I knew he was trying to get out of them. And I know at the end of the day, he's a man, and a man gonna do what a man gonna do. And sometimes a man gonna think with his dick. And just like that bitch be the baddest bitch at Pump 8 that day on a random Tuesday in April, she was that. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I can't sit here and say, oh, you you sit here, you trying to be with her, you trying to do, no, you doing what niggas do. And that's why certain women like Jazz can sit there and let shit like that slide. And that's what she was basically trying to get at. Like, I understand men, and men fuck for a nut. One thing, men, for some reason, if you look a lot on like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, anything, men post a lot about how it's, I think it's like for every one man, it's 7 women. That whole ratio shit. So it's like men really think about this. Like, and some men, I had also learned, men are big on like conquering. That's why it's like you can't fault a man when he cheats sometimes, because it's I feel like it's built into their DNA not to cheat, but to show off how manly they are, their testosterone levels and shit like that. And I feel like going into this world, seeing women and conquering them, that's like, it does something for men. You feel what I'm saying? And like vice versa. That's why I feel like men hurt different when you cheat. Because when a woman steps out and cheats, she went out, met some dude, and got conquered. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one thing for a man to go and go conquer some shit and come back. For a woman to lay down and get conquered, oh, that's gonna hit a man totally different. And when you see the aspect of men and women like that, you tend to see cheating differently. You tend to see infidelity differently, and you can I probably can bet she probably sees it like that. But certain times, like, you can't fault men for what they do. Like, that's just what a man gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? Men go to, like, some men's pastime is going to the strip club and having a woman put titties and ass in their face. You feel what I'm saying? He's not at home telling his girlfriend to put her titties and her ass in his face. You feel what I'm saying? He's not at home with his personal stripper. You know what I'm saying? He went out to go find some random girl for her to show her titties and clap some ass to a fucking Future song. You feel what I'm saying? Like, women have to see that. Like, think about that when you think about men stepping out, cheating, and doing things like that. Like, that is some men's pastime. They go take their hard-earned money of the week, get $300, $400, $500 in ones, go sit at a strip club and throw their money on a woman they don't really know so she can get naked. Like, he could have bought you a purse and told you to go get naked. You feel what I'm saying? Like, men move differently, so you can't fault them when they fuck up. So I feel like that's a big concept that she basically was trying to get at. And then she understands, like she said, and like he said in the interview, he reaches out to her when he feels tempted, when he feels desires, and she listens, and they discuss a good solution to the I guess the issue at hand, you can call it. And I mean, when it comes to their situation, a lot of people brought this up, and I mean, it is a thing you do have to consider in situations like that. One, they have a child together. Two, not to sound opportunist like, but he does very well for himself. So certain things come with the territory. I dated a man that used to mess with multiple women. He used to say it's because he could afford them. You know, so men, like I said, men have a certain conqueror ick built into them, and it just comes with that pridefulness in a man. And as you listen and you see their situation, their dynamic, you can tell that she gets it. She sees kind of both sides of the coin when it comes to relationships and when it comes to just dealing with men in general, because I feel like that's where the line is drawn, where you're dealing with being in a relationship with a man, and then the principles of actually being in a relationship, because they differ a little bit. You know, when you're dating a man, you gotta understand how men mentality works. And in their case, in their relationship, she kind of has understood his mentality. She kind of can understand where his head is at and how he's gonna move, and she can kind of pivot and playing accordingly with her steps. So it was just a definitely different situation that I had saw play out, and I kind of really wanted to discuss on it because everyone was kind of being real angry about the topic, and I'm like, well, some women just really know how men are, and men be outside. Like, some be inside, and there is those few and far between that are inside when they're inside, but then there's those ones that are out fucking side 24/7. It was funny. I was at the tattoo parlor getting a tattoo done, and it was the person doing my tattoo, but there was another artist there. I think he was waiting on an appointment, and they were talking or whatever, and he said it, like, and it's crazy when you go around people you don't know and you hear them speak on it, because then you see how universal it is. He basically was just talking about how it was a dude that they knew, that they would go out with, that was married, had a woman, had a family, and would openly cheat on his wife in front of them. And it just showed, like, people really do move like that. Like, people do really be outside, like, cheating. So it's just really about who you are as a person, what you tolerate, what you gonna stand on, what you are going to allow, and how you're going to move when it may or may not happen to you. Everyone's different. Infidelity, relationships, and cheating are very subjective to a person. So it's not something people can be so quick to judge about. But yeah, we're going to take a quick break and pay some bills. I love saying that because, growing up, they used to always say that when you watch TV or when you used to listen to the radio. So it's so cool to say that now with my podcast. But yes, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I kind of dove into it with this topic, but it was something, one of Queen Leo's rants that I wanted to have just about things going on in my life. So, yeah, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Ay, I came in at 5 a.m. and you been waiting on me. I know you the type, can't get no sleep, feeling lonely. You know this incredible. I will never let you down, baby, that's for sure. Give you my word. Ay, I came in at 5 a.m. and you been waiting on me. I know you the type, can't get no sleep, feeling lonely. You know this incredible. I will never let you down, baby, that's for sure. Give you my word. Ay, never change, walk through the pouring rain just to see you. Tell me that
Alrighty, and we are back. So, with this topic that I discussed with Cam Newton, it kind of reminded me of things that have gone on in my life, and it pushed me to want to have this episode and really have this rant, just to, like I said, put it on the floor, address it all, leave it on the table. Question I wanted to ask the viewers, comment below. And I guess it's the viewpoint of the women looking at the situation. Why do some women choose to stay in relationships where they know a man is actively dating or being unfaithful? Why do women choose to stay? I myself have been in a relationship with a man who cheated on me often. It was my ex that I was with for a while, and I can say I stayed because I fell in love with the potential of him. I fell in love with the person that he could have been, the person that I dreamt of him becoming. I wanted the family. I wanted the white picket fence. I wanted the dog. I wanted it all at one point. And I thought I wanted it with him. And I ended up staying just because I felt like he didn't mean it. I felt like it wasn't intentional. And later on, as I got older, I realized this was me psyching myself into toxic behaviors. But he was also very controlling, and he would make me feel like no one else would love me or tend to me or care for me like he would. And I feel like it caused me to gain an unhealthy codependency on him or with him. And I feel like that's why over the years I tend to stay through all the infidelity. As I got older, I realized, like, no, he doesn't respect me. I realized he doesn't love me. I realized he was taking advantage and he was using me. And that's not love. And I finally decided to leave that situation alone. But I feel like some women stay just because most women fall in love with what the potential. Something I've learned recently is the representative of a person, but they fall in love with the potential of what you could be. They fall in love with who you could be for them, like the end goal. Like if you were perfect, this is the type of person you would be. And I feel like a lot of people fall in love with that aspect of a person, not really seeing who they are right there, right in front of them. You know, they're clouded by the smoke and the mirrors, and they just think that they're with this amazing person. Lo and behold, they're compartmentalizing all the abuse, all the hurt, all the pain, all the anger. So I feel like that is one of the main reasons why women stay. Also, I feel like women stay because some women feel like they have a sense of power, or they have a sense of control, or they feel like they're one up in the situation. You know, a lot of women say, oh, well, he know we're home at, and this, that, and the third. And I feel like they truly believe that. Like, I feel like that's truly a mantra, like, he know we're home at. I feel like some women think it's just a phase, and that at the end of the day, it will always be them. But when you think like that, you're allowing it. When you allow it, it's going to always happen. It's going to become a trend to where, you know, it's not just him sleeping with whoever. It's him building relationships and having second lives. So it's a lot of toxic and bad energy and bad mental health and vibes that come with accepting a man or a woman cheating on you. Because it should be unacceptable. It should be something that's nipped in the bud or left or dealt or left alone, you know. But when you know and you present and you like cool with it, it shows that there's a lot of deep personal things that need to be worked on. And that's what brings into the second part of the question. How does women choosing to stay in relationships with men that are like this, how does that choice create resentment, bitterness, and I don't want to say obsession, but just pretty much like resentment and bitterness? When I think of this, I think of the movie Acrimony. It was a woman. If you haven't seen it, it's an intense movie. But it's starring Taraji P. Henson, and it's about a woman. It tells her life story from, like, I want to say she starts at her childhood, but if not, she starts at like early on, like I want to say like middle high school. But pretty much like her mom passes away. Her mom leaves her all this money, and she's supposed to save. The mom leaves her, I think, the house. She's supposed to save all these things and just like get her life on track, you know. And she ends up meeting this guy, I think, right around the funeral of her mom's passing, of her mom. And they like hit it off and they're cool, but he down and out. Like, he ain't got money like that. So like over time as they're dating, you see where she starts shelling money out to him. But they end up like getting together, married, all this stuff, but she ends out like basically going broke, go into debt for this man, and he cheats on her. He makes it to where she can't have children. Like, it's a whole bunch of shit that comes into it. But like over time, she had allowed so much stuff that so much pain had came from it. And in the end, she leaves him because he's like hell bent on his idea, because he's an entrepreneur. Hell bent on his idea, gone broke over the idea. They lose it all damn near. She leaves him. He finally hits big, finally makes all these millions. He cuts her like a check, and he moves on. But the gag is, he moves on with the woman that he cheated on her with previous, like early on in their relationship. And that moment when he cheated on her early on in the relationship is what caused her to not have children now. Like what makes her not be able to have children. So it was just like a complete 360, and it's like, what the fuck? But basically, like, she snaps, and like everything he promised her over their whole relationship, he gives to this new woman, and she loses it. She's like, how the fuck? And that's what this question, that's what this whole topic kind of brings me to, and everything is like, how does that choice of staying with a man like that, how does it create those issues and those problems? And I feel like not a lot of people think about that. Like, when you're with someone and you stay through the shit they're doing, it's gonna cause you to move a certain type of way. It's gonna cause you to think a certain type of way. It's gonna cause you to act differently towards that person. Like, you're accepting, I feel like you don't really know what you're buying into in that moment, but you're accepting a lot of things when you agree to let these things happen. And I wanted to just release this energy because it's just been weighing on me. But you can't get mad at no one else. You can't fault anyone else because of decisions you've made. If you, and I'm not speaking to you as a viewer, like whoever's listening, it's just something I want to get off my chest because it's been bothering me. And with this topic came, it was something I wanted to let it go and let it out. But you can't judge anybody. You can't fault anybody because they move differently than you. Like I stated before, when I'm with someone, if I find out about these things, I'm giving you that choice. You can continue and I'll leave, or you can stop and I'll stay. And if you're not the type of person who can stand on business, man or woman, when it comes to that situation, you can't get mad at others. If you're going to allow it, then that's just what you have to eat. You have to eat that. You have to take it on the chin. In my past, when I was, mixing and mingling, my ex, when he met me, he was dealing with another situation, and I gave him full reign to get rid of that situation. Now, like I said, I'm standing on business. Now, if you were before me and you don't stand on business, that's you. If you were before me and you allowed whatever, you just allowed whatever, and you missed out, honey. At the end of the day, you were once where I am, and you had the opportunity to say something. And she was very angry with me. And I get if she was angry with him because they had whatever they had. And I get if you were angry with that person. I don't know too much what happened with them to even speak on it, to even do that. But whatever you had, you have to take that up with them. But when it comes to me, you should never feel any type of way about me because I just stood on business about me. I don't see the issue. If that's what it is, that's what it is. At the end of the day, if he wanted to be with you, he would have been with you. You know what I mean? If he didn't want to fuck with me like that, he wouldn't have fucked with me like that. But me and you both had the same moment. We both, at some point in our time and tenure with that man, we both had our same moment where the ball was in our court, and we could either play along or we could say fuck it. And you played along. And I feel like over time she had grew bitterness and she had grew resentment, and that's why she had snapped and took it out on me, because she grew all those things with him because she had allowed so much. Like, she's coming out of pocket, she's making scenes, she's contacting, she's coming to people as women, like she was doing the most for it at the end to be like a dud. So I get why she was full of emotion and full of all these things, but it's like I said, that's something to take up with that person. So it's like, I understand dealing with a man that has actively dated, dealing with a man who has multiple women, dealing with a man who's doing all those things and you aren't the one he ends up with. I can understand why all those emotions would grow and fester and become. I get it. I totally get it. If you deal with a person for a lot of years and it don't end out, I get it. But don't ever, I feel like people misconstrue and they take it out on all parties involved. Don't take it out on all parties involved. That's something that you have to communicate within yourself, within God, within the person you were dealing with, and get that closure and move forward. It's a lesson learned. At the end of the day, you know now you need to stand on business before you waste time in a situation. Before you sit and deal with somebody, you need to really sit there and put it on the floor and talk to them and be like, hey, I'm expecting this, that, and the third. Can you deliver? If you can, perfect. If you can't, well, I guess this is over. But when you sit there and you allow, you're opening the door for things to occur, for moments to happen, for opportunities to arise where you are now you're put basically you're put on hot seat. Like, are you going to stay? Are you going to move? Are you going to act? Like, you're going to keep being put in those predicaments. And I feel like in their situation, she had kept getting put in those predicaments where, okay, we going through some things. Okay, we going through some things. Okay, we going through some things. So like a bonds building. Maybe it's a lot of turmoil. Maybe it's a lot of toxic, but it's a bond building because we're going through things. But once you're going through these things, if you're not addressing them like, hey, this is unacceptable, you're going to continue to go through them. And then it's going to be a waste. So it's like you have to address them. With me, I'm very forthcoming. I'm very open, and I want to know. I tell people all the time, I'm so chill, I'm so cool. Just tell me, be honest, be transparent, be forthcoming with me, just like I am with you, because I'm not going to get mad. I'm not. Everybody's grown. Everybody's going to do what they want to do. But when you tell me, I can move accordingly. Now, when it's told to you and you decide to accept it, you gotta accept it. If you're going to accept it in the good, you gotta accept it in the bad. And I feel like people don't get that. When you're playing a game like this with a person that's not fully yours, you're playing a gamble. It's a gamble. You risking it all, you putting it all on the table, and you gambling with it. And you could strike and you could hit big, hit the jackpot, or you could crap out and lose it all. You feel what I'm saying? And you have to understand that. And I feel like that's where people get angry and the emotions are changing and people feeling some type of way. And that's why I say it's different for them in their relationship, because maybe she understands that, like, I'm putting it all on the table. I'm risking it all staying, but you might have some shit in your back pocket. You feel what I'm saying? You might have a backup plan. Some people go in wholeheartedly with no backup plan. And then when the shit hit the fan, it's like, damn, I committed to this person and they doing crazy shit. But it's like, if you understand, and that's why you have to be honest. You have to deal with forthcoming and transparent people. Because if not, these situations like this could happen. It was just something I really wanted to get off my chest, because it was like, I dealt with that. And I felt like that shit used to piss me off. Like, and I'm the type of person, I'm so calm, I'm so chill, but I feel, you know what I mean? Like, I'm never going to express, I'm never going to show out, I'm never going to do the most, but I have feelings, I have emotions, things like that. So when things happen, it really be bothering me. And I held on to it, and I tried to let go, but it was something that it had to be said, because at one point she was really upset with me. Like, and I hate when people are upset with me. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, I really don't know you. But like, I hate being like the bad guy. No one really likes being the bad guy. So it's like, for me to be the villain in your story is crazy. So, but when it's like you sit and you realize and you peep game and you see the whole story, sometimes you just don't give a fuck. So I don't really give a fuck about being the villain in that story. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't be the villain in the story, because all I did was be me and stand on business. At the end of the day, when you project it on me, deflect it on me, that's something you got to deal with. And at some point, your karma going to come back and it's going to bounce on you. But I'm not going to feed into it. I'm not going to pop off and this, that, and third. No, I'm just going to bow out gracefully like a woman, because I understand what time it is, but comment below definitely your take on the situation. Why do women choose to stay in relationships where they know a man is actively dating or being unfaithful? Because it's like, you're either you're a 1, you're a 2, you're a 3, you're a 4, 5, or you're 6, or you're 7. You could have a different one every day. You could be Tuesday, you could be his Wednesday, you could be his Sunday. Like, why would you want to deal with that? So it's like, good question. Why do women stay and deal with that? And when they do decide to stay and deal with that, how does that choice create resentment, bitterness, and obsession, or anger, or pain? It's because they just, you putting too much into it. You're committing too much to it. You have to really step back and analyze the situation. And it's like, really ask yourself, is it really that? You know, like that's another reason why I felt like I couldn't really feel for her when she would come at me before, because it's like you believe something, but I don't understand where you got it from. Like she had a lot of anger towards the whole situation, but where did in the situation were y'all together if you're accepting multiple women? Then it's like, where are y'all in there together when it's like communication is happening between all parties, families, and everything? Like he was talking to my family. Like I would call him, my family would call him. Like if we're all contacting this man, he clearly is somebody to me. So clearly, whatever you think it is, ain't that. You get what I'm saying? And it should obviously have you want to ask questions to understand what it is. And you have to ask the right questions. Because another thing I've learned about niggas will be honest, but niggas won't be transparent. Niggas will tell you the truth when you ask, but niggas ain't just gonna come with the truth off the rip. And when you ask them that question, they're gonna answer the exact question. So you ask what you exactly want to know to get the exact answer you want. Simple and plain. Like it's a way you gotta move to avoid these things from happening. So you're not the one left holding the bag, feeling some type of way, like some people will do. You know, at the end of the day, it's a personal decision, and you have to do what feels great and what feels right for you. And whenever a situation like that arises, you have to really ask yourself, what kind of love, what kind of respect do you deserve and do you tolerate when it comes to your relationships? You know? Great question. Also ask, comment below. What kind of love should we tolerate and respect when it comes to relationships? Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Queen of Hearts podcast. Thank you for tuning in as we talked about relationships when it comes to infidelity and cheating, women deciding to stay or leave. And thank you for sitting around to listen to me rant about this shit that has happened in the life of the queen. Whenever I just, see things and get motivated by stuff in my past, I'll probably have episodes like this where topics will pull up old memories and I'll decide to just speak on them. So definitely, stay tuned for more Queen Leo rants. And just stay tuned for some good, wholesome conversation. If you're not already subscribe at queenleo.shop and become part of the kingdom. There you will get first-hand scoop and knowledge when it comes to merch, when it comes to podcast episodes, when it comes to content, when it comes to anything Queen Leo. That's where you're going to get your information firsthand. So subscribe at queenleo.shop. And when you subscribe there, when you go on the website and scroll all the way down, you'll see a ticking banner at the bottom with all of our social media platforms: Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything. I don't even know why TikTok's on there. It might not be here soon. But definitely like, share, subscribe, follow me on all social media, and stay tuned for another episode of the Queen of Hearts podcast. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. Bye.